On today's episode of the Nostalgia Test podcast, we're going back to school, Nostalgia 101, and we're here with actor and producer Alisa Reyes. Hey,
Back
everyone,
to
welcome.
school.
Yeah, back to school. That's right, Manny. We're
Dude,
back to
it's been a
school.
while since we've done a one-on-one, and
Yeah, it
I'm
has.
really excited. I'm always excited when it's an actor and producer because
Oh,
of, all the things that I went to school for that didn't happen.
what'd you go to school for, Manny? What'd you go to
I
school
went to school
for?
for film.
There we go. I
And
was
then
way
right
I
after
was-
film, I just became an electrician, owned an electrical company, then owned a brewery, and now I'm back doing marketing. So I guess kind of full circle.
thinking as I was planning this episode, I was like, what's the over-under when Manny mentions that he went to film school?
You set this up. You have this school going.
Yeah.
Okay. And most of the schools that have been have to do with the movies that we always review, do
Absolutely.
nostalgia stuff. This
Yeah.
one's really excited. I'm really excited
is-
about this one because it
yeah.
ties into an episode that we did. I don't know, it's like 6 years.
6 years ago.
Jesus, man,
with
time.
Scott
COVID
Barber.
messed me up. Like
Yeah.
the time travel is just messed up with
Absolutely.
that. Well, Billy's here
Oh, yeah.
too. Billy,
Yes.
What's up, boys?
Billy's
I hope
here.
you don't freeze up on this one, on the
I
one-on-one.
never freeze up. I never
Yeah,
freeze up.
no,
man.
you're already
It's all
delayed.
good.
I see it.
Yeah.
I already see it.
Oh. I,
I meant
you
I meant your Wi-Fi, not
Not me.
you
I'm
not
like,
being
bro,
able
come
to
on.
talk.
Yeah.
And it's
Jesus.
Sunday, which means we're all awake for the first time, and me and Billy aren't going to
Correct.
fall asleep at midnight when Dan's like, "Why are you guys always so tired?" Well, it's finally just during the day. The sun is out. It's hitting my face, so the lighting is totally different. So
It's amazing.
I'm excited
yeah.
about
You'll
this
look
one.
great, Manny. And
Oh,
you're right. This is an exciting episode. We have an amazing guest. This is we'll just get right into it. I mean, we are here with actress, producer, original cast member of All That and the reboot, member of a show that was on during like a really awesome era of TNBC shows, which like Manny and we bonded on watching City Guys. So I mean, that was like a whole thing.
oh, I can't wait. to
One
bring that
World.
one up.
I know. And then also a cast member of The Proud Family, and both the original and the re-release, and it's on Disney Plus. It's amazing. I was watching a couple episodes last night, Louder and Prouder, and a whole slew of other things. I mean, Alisa is quite possibly one of the busiest people when I was looking at everything that she's done and is doing. And so we welcome and thank you so much for being here, Alisa Reyes.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I am beyond stoked to be here, and I feel like the vibration is right up my alley.
Great.
Perfect.
Loud, proud, and
Yes.
and just New York all the way through. We were talking before we hit record, and we're all native New Yorkers, whether Manhattan, Long Island, no upstaters. So we're actually
I plead the fifth.
We still have some accents that are
There's
upstate
some.
And
accent.
then
I
you
don't know
put
what
us
that is.
together. It's like
Yeah.
coffee.
Oh, it gets worse.
How
Yeah.
you doing?
A little bit.
Absolutely.
My wife always says that. She's like, I can always tell when you're on the phone or doing something with other New Yorkers because your accent comes out even worse. Like
It's
she was an
ridiculous.
opera singer in college, so she like her Long Island accent kind of like went away because she just got it like nailed out of her. She went to college and they were like, "Where's your family from? Are they like foreigners?" They're like, no, they're
Wow.
from Nassau County, Long Island. She's like, I've never heard this accent before. So
It's a very
it was
special
really
one.
funny. It is. It is.
But yeah, we are so happy and like so excited about this episode. And Alisa, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? Get to know you, and then we'll jump right into this conversation.
Oh, fabulous. All right. Well, get your cup of coffee, have your favorite,
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
mocktail if you want. Yes. I'm originally from Manhattan, New York, as you shared, but I live in the sunny West Coast because that's where all of us actors end up usually residing nowadays. You could be anywhere. But I started on a show called All That on Nickelodeon. It was amazing being a part of the original cast. And then after that, I ended up moving on to other shows like you shared, TNBC. Marcy Blake was my character on One World. That was a Peter Ingalls show, and I won a Hollywood Reporter Award for that role. And that was like an amazing part of my life as well, transitioning out of Nickelodeon. And then I've done shows like, ER, NYPD Blue, Boston Public, Without a Trace, 6 Feet Under. I've been doing, soaps. I've done film. I had a couple radio shows. I sang in a girls group, and now I'm pursuing solo music. And now I'm working on Proud Family again, that was originally on in the early 2000s. And by the grace of God, we're back with all new episodes. And I'm reprising my role as LaCienega Boulevardez. And the show's been winning awards. And we just had a live like a live size version of Penny Proud displayed at Disney Channel Light in Disney Anaheim, California recently. So life is good. And the best part is I have a beautiful 4-year-old daughter. That's the light of my life, Rosemary. And, now I'm just in that next shift of my life. And it's so great to be with people like you that are of the same tribe. So thank you for having me.
Wow.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I'm
that
like
was everything in a nutshell.
That
like,
is
wow.
a big nutshell.
All right.
That's
that is
impressive,
a
yeah.
lot.
And that's just a touch of it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to hear more about All That. I mean, I think it's one of the shows, especially, it was funny. I was doing a little bit of research last night and I'm like thinking like All That, it
Yeah.
existed during all these other sketch shows as well. You had
Yeah.
Mad TV, SNL, obviously, in Living Color. Like there are shows that were like sketch shows going on. But All That was like carving a whole other space. And
Yes.
what was the experience like on All That, and like with the cast? I mean, it was a star-studded cast. I mean, it's an amazing cast. I mean, we were talking about it before with Keenan and Kel. I mean, it's unbelievable. How was it to be in such an energetic environment like that?
It was honestly just like this like, like in Never Ending Story, when the princess shows a tray of the grain of sand. That was my moment, part of me, where I just was like, this is a really sacred moment in time. I am going to just be present. And I was so thankful that I was like 12 turning 13 and that I was young and innocent and able to just like be SpongeBob and soak it all up. God rest my mother's soul. She was my everything. And at that time, she dropped everything so I could pursue my career because, as people know, at the beck and call, you have to be there, as an actor. And I remember my manager at the time, I shared the same acting manager as Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was like freshly on All My Children and transitioning into Buffy and all that stuff. And I think at the time she was still playing Susan Lucci's daughter on All My Children. And my manager, Marilyn Zittner, called me and she's like, you have an audition for a sketch comedy show that's untitled for Viacom Nickelodeon. The audition's going to be where they used to shoot TRL in Times Square, and you need to do a bunch of sketch comedy and come up with improv and stand up and go. And I'm like, okay. Wow. And a lot of these kids that were my co-star, they really came up from doing stand-up comedy. Some of them were in boot camps at the time for stuff like this. And I started acting when I was 7. I started doing, I was dancing, I was taking, I was doing classes, I was auditioning like crazy. I ended up doing a lot of commercials, a lot of industrials. I did music videos. One of my first music videos was with Mariah Carey when I was a little girl. And I had started getting into some films as a child as well. And I remember, I said, you know what, I'm just going to go and be myself. And that was one thing about me, is I wasn't shy. I was a go-getter. I could control a room, and I was really confident. And that's what they were looking for. They were looking for kids to go in there and just shine their magic. And I got lucky. I was the only one cast out of Manhattan, New York. I auditioned for the show. I swear it felt like 7 times. I've been saying all my life 7 times. It might have been less, but I think it was about 7 times. And my joke is by like the 3rd or 4th time, I'd put my, feet up on the coffee table, and the receptionist, knew my phone number and social security number and all that funny stuff. And it was really just about them getting to know me. I did stand up. I wrote a whole routine with my mother. All night we came up with this routine. I told a story about my sister that had long hair coming out of her armpits and how it traveled throughout the house. In my pancakes, all this funny kind of stuff. And then I used to have my hats on my wall. And my mom and I came up with an idea for me to take all the hats, put them in a bag. It was like a grab bag, and every hat would be a different personality. And a big thing that Nickelodeon at the time, asked me in my casting was, can you make fun of your family members? Can you make fun of different people? And that's the one thing as a comedian, is you have to be able to make fun of anybody as well as yourself, and just be a free spirit. And then eventually I did a couple chemistry reads, but at the end of the day, Keenan and I were kind of the last people cast. And Once we
Wow.
got flown to Orlando, Florida, I literally was starting my ninth grade year. I joined the professional performing arts school. I was majoring in musical theater. It's a school where like Claire Danes and Alicia Keys and Britney Spears went to. My joke is I wish I used to pay attention to them a little bit more. No, but all of us were like two ships passing by in the night. And, all the kids that went to these schools, this type of school, we were constantly working in and out. But yeah, I started my ninth grade year and all that Nickelodeon. A lot of my ninth grade year was like tutoring on set. I got flown straight to the set, and that's how we all met. We met in the tutoring trailer with our famous teacher, God rest his soul, Chuck Yeager, who was the same teacher for MMC on Disney.
Okay.
And the rest was history. It was that and his magic protractor he taught us about.
Wow.
So your mom, what did she do for a living while you
So
were
my
doing
mother,
this?
Brenda, was originally she had her own hair salon, and then she moved on to working for the Board of Education as a dietitian for 25 years. So she ran like no less than 4 schools in Manhattan. And so when I got the call to go to Orlando, she stopped everything so I can pursue my career, because my mom and dad parted when I was young. So I'm an only child. And, I do, have some, half siblings and whatnot from my father's side of the family. But overall, it was just my mom and I pretty much my whole life. And, she was my everything. She dropped everything. And I think I was really lucky, because you have to have someone that's going to support you. I never was forced to be in this industry. I told my mother when I was 3, I wanted to go in the TV, to be on Sesame Street. I try to stick my head in the TV. Clearly, that's not how you get there. And she just sent like a bunch of really silly 4x6s of me in black and white with my hair crimped.
Oh God.
I looked like I was
With
in
the
a
wavy
quinceañera
thing?
dress.
The one
yeah,
with
I was with the wave. And I was like
Yeah.
in this ball gown dress, swinging like on a swing in a tree. And my mom wrote like on the back, like my hobbies, my skills, my interests. I got a call to go into an agency, Tracy's Kids. I read Smucker's Jams and Jelly script. She's like, you got
At
something.
3 years old?
Yeah, I was like 7.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, my
So
first
you knew
audition.
then. You were like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah,
Like,
I knew
this
what
is
I wanted to do. And then my
Wow.
first
That's
audition was like a Honey Nut Cheerios commercial. It was a national.
Yeah.
I booked it.
Wow.
They
That's
wanted to give me a
crazy.
lifetime supply. I ate so much of it. I was like, no, thank you, but thank you.
It's
Couldn't eat
funny-
anymore.
It's funny when you talk to actors that you guys are like entrepreneurs of your own self. Like you are
Yeah.
your own company. So like, because you say you're like, I booked it and I wanted to do this and I'm producing
Yeah.
this and I'm producing that. Like you're constantly you run your own business. It's you.
Yeah.
And that's like so you never stop. Like, do you
No.
relax ever? Like, do you, because like you can't, like your work-life balance, you are your work. Like you, even like you have,
Oh,
like that's a lot. I mean,
you don't even know the stories I have. That's why I married a man that's very like, he's the same sign as me. He's from South Dakota. So
okay.
he's from a town of 1,000. My husband,
okay.
Nathan, and I am from Manhattan. So we're like opposites that attract.
Yep.
Okay.
And so
That
he's
makes
the
sense.
yin and the yang, and then my daughter, she's just everything in the middle.
Yeah.
Does she
'Cause
want to act?
She's shown some interest. She's in like tap, ballet, karate. She's
Okay.
done a couple of shoots just to experience it for like experience as a family, nothing professional. And I've already been offered, to extend that olive branch from people in my team, which is lovely. But I think I want her to be a kid a little bit more. This is now when I want her to like pick what she wants to do and perfect her skills in that realm and thrive and do whatever she wants. Because this might change in a minute. She might not want to do tap and dance. She might want to do gymnastics or whatever. I'm never going to force her. I need to know 100% that is what she wants to do. And then mommy can make that happen.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's
Got
what's so nice to hear about your story. It's like it came from you. It wasn't because you hear all these stories about sometimes child actors where their parents are pushing them, but it seems like it was you were the one that was driving it. Your mom was like, "All right, let's go. Like I'm going to support this." So it's really, nice to hear you say that about your own daughter, and like your experience seems like very different from what you hear about some other child actors.
I've been very lucky. My mom wasn't my manager, but as Craig Mack, the rapper, God rest his soul, titled my mom manager because My mom got along with all of the rappers. She's like,
Oh, that's
I
amazing.
like him because I understand what he's rapping.
That's
Oh, that's amazing.
amazing.
I
That's
love
She
it.
was
amazing.
Irish and Italian, and then my dad's the Dominican.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I can cook.
Oh God, I'm sure.
Absolutely. There's a lot of cooking in there. Yeah. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
I know how
Was
to
she born
smash
here?
up some garlic and make some, chicken piccata and all that good stuff.
Oh, there
Nice.
you
Was
go.
she
Slice it
was
with the
she
razor blade like in Goodfellas.
was
Yes,
she was she first generation, second generation here? Like where's
second.
her second?
Second,
Okay.
my
Okay.
grandparents, because like now I'm into like the ancestry and I'm meeting cousins and piecing the pie together.
I mean, that's a cool way to meet a cool cousin. Like you were on all that? Like that's awesome.
Oh, that's
Like,
funny.
right,
Yeah,
right.
no, yeah. I actually met three cousins off of like these ancestry 23andMe things.
Wow.
Wow,
It's
that's
really
All
crazy.
right.
trippy. It's
I'm
really
afraid to do
trippy.
that because my dad also had many wives. And I was like, I don't know if I want to meet all that.
As
That'd be-
Shia LaBeouf would say, just do it. Do it. Just do it.
So what was it like to move from something like with all that and having the time there and like moving to something like One World on TNBC where then you actually won an award on that and something like what's interesting about TNBC, like I remember it as like a very specific era of shows that would happen. Um, and they were all really different, but they all had like a very similar kind of like threading of like school, like teen experience and really kind of getting at these. What was it? What did One World do
Mhm.
that maybe these other ones didn't, like City Guys, California Dreams and stuff?
So transitioning from all that to One World, I felt was perfect alignment. Literally, I could have stayed with all that on Nickelodeon. My contract was ready to get negotiated again. But I felt when we started, I think it was we were starting season 4 or whatnot, or ending season 3. I felt that I started to get like, because I was like in that prime moment, I had that little Midas touch. I started to get offers. I started to get some really big auditions. I started to have people really call me and want me in. And I really felt that I wanted to do scripted content that was more sitcom based. I loved doing sketch comedy, but I felt like I wanted to just have a moment to just shine in a different frequency. It was a very hard decision to leave because everybody was my tribe and everything was honestly just like really high impactful. And it was a decision I had to sit down and really think about. But I had gotten called from Peter Engel's office to come in from One World while I was on hiatus. And when I was on hiatus, I auditioned for things like I auditioned to be Princess Leia in Star Wars, which is Natalie
Oh, wow.
Portman's role. I auditioned to be Juliet, Claire Danes' role. I got called in. I got called in for the movie Lolita for Dominique Swain's part. Do you remember that movie?
Wow.
Yep. Yep. Wow,
That was a
that's
very
crazy.
interesting audition.
Yeah, I can
I bet.
imagine.
Yeah.
A very interesting audition. I remember it exactly. That same day, I think I auditioned for Star Wars as well. So I like, I felt like I was getting a little bit of taste of what I was missing outside of my tenor on all that. And when I read One World, I fell in love with the script. I fell in love with being the Cuban-born entrepreneur of the show that was kind of like the Michael J. Fox from Family Ties. I was always scamming and trying to make money. And I just thought this would be a good shift. And I knew the show would last a little bit. So I got, flown out for a screen test. I never forget this. I stayed at the Hilton at Universal. And at the time, like, I think we just started to like get a cell phone or whatever, but we didn't have it on us. And I had to go down to a payphone to call Peter Engel. And he told me the first thing he goes, "I'm Marcy Blake." And that's how he told me I got the job. Yeah. And I was so sad that he had passed away. I was so happy that this past year I was able to pay my respects with some of my other cast members and other people from some of their other shows and stay in alignment with his family. And Mary Lou, who was the director of the show, was a really close friend of Peter. So I was able to be a part of his funeral service and pay my respects to him. And it made me so happy to see him get acknowledged as well within, some of these entertainment awards, because he really left a positive impact, I think, on the teenage years, that bridge gap, you know what I mean? And I don't have any regrets leaving all that when I left. I think it's very empowering being able to, especially at a young age, to make a choice what you feel is best for your career. But my memories have been nothing but fond. And I felt like, look how the universe, gave me two full circle moments. I was able to go back on the reboot, and I was
That's
able
right.
to align back with the Proud Family. I truly believe like what's meant is meant. And it's okay sometimes to walk away, and it's okay to part ways. But as long as you do it with love and grace, then look, you get to go back and have fun again.
Yeah,
That's
that's
really good advice, I think. Like in not only in your industry, but everything. It's like you don't burn bridges because you never know what's going to come back around, right? So it's
Never,
if you
never.
leave in a good way, it's like like to your point, like good things happen,
Yep.
come back around. So that's
Yep,
awesome.
100%, 100%. So yeah, so working on One World was awesome. And then being a part of that whole TNBC lineup, because like Javier Hernandez, who plays Magnum PI now, was my boyfriend on One World. It was amazing to see the different people that came out of all of my different shows that I had worked on when I was younger, and to see people thriving. Like Nicholas Gonzalez guest starred on One World, and he's now, playing a cop on something. You know
wow.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Even though him and I worked together, I was on a show called American Family. It was on PBS.
Hmm.
It was the first show really on PBS that was an all Latin cast. And Gregory Nava, who directed Selena with Jennifer Lopez,
Yeah.
directed our show.
Wow.
And Edward James almost played my father. So that was like bucket list
Oh
check.
wow, that's
And
awesome.
then the one who played my mother was like, I was fanning over her, was Sonia Braga. She's a
Mm.
very, very well-known actress in the Latin industry, beautiful
Mhm.
actress. And then I met Raquel Welch. She played my aunt.
Wow.
Wow.
She was stunning. Absolutely. And then Constance Marie. I played the younger
Mm.
version of an actress named Rachel Tickerton, who was in Total Recall.
Oh, wow.
So I was her younger. And then the guy that played my boyfriend, who's very thriving and doing wonderful, is Michael Pena.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I've worked with some cool people by
Yeah,
the
you
Yeah.
grace
work
of
with a
God.
lot of
That was
people.
in
You
that
hear the
one
names, it's like
show.
whoa.
That was
That's
all
great.
go check out American Family.
I'm gonna have to
Wow.
check
Some
that
of my
out.
best acting. I was crying on camera. Michael died in my arms. It's a whole thing.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
It's a whole thing. It's
I
a
love
whole
it.
thing.
That's hilarious. It's the whole thing. He died in my arms. Whole thing. It's a
I
whole
swear.
thing. That's a New York moment. Like, it's a whole thing. We'll
Yeah.
do it. But so, and you did win an award for One World. Like, what was it
I
like to like
did.
be there, and then all of a sudden here you are doing this amazing work? You left a show that was thriving, like all that is still going
Yeah.
on, but then you take this leap into something else, and it pays
Yeah.
off. Like to have to win an award. What was that experience like?
I was so excited. The year previously, I got nominated, but I didn't win. So I got nominated again the next year. And so, like, it's really true. You don't like expect to win unless you're just really egotistical and cocky like that. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how many times you're going to psych yourself up. Like, you just never know till you hear that. And the host of the show at the time was Monique, the comedian.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think, you know, Raven Simone, who I know very well, who's a dear friend, gave me the award or something like that at the time. And when they call my name, I think it was like an out of body experience. I was in a fancy suit. I wore a suit. And I'll just never forget. Like I thanked God and I thanked my mother. And you really go blank. You don't know who to really thank.
Yeah.
You just go, thank Peter, thank the network, thank the cast, And yeah, and then you go get swept in the back and you do all these interviews and you get to hold, and I still have my trophy right
That's
in my
awesome.
room, and I showed my kid like, Mama won something. And hopefully that's one of many. And that's what's
Yeah.
been amazing about being a part of Proud Family. They've been, submitting us for nominations. Our award, our show's been getting Emmy Awards, NAACP Awards. So it's great to be on shows where you have networks that are willing to acknowledge your work and what you've done all these years.
I mean, that show has a huge cast. I mean, I was looking at the cast list on that show, and the voice work is, I mean, when I was looking, it was funny because when I recognized Jo Marie Payton, I was like, oh my God. I was
Right?
like, she's in this, and
Family
she's hilarious.
matters.
She's hilarious. Like her character is so funny, but what you've transitioned into so many different sketch to scripted now to voice. How do you how do you prepare to adapt the way you have? Like you've adapted so well or evolved in like continuing to evolve. Like how do you do that? And I know that sounds like a really general question, but also like what do you take with you from each place to kind of to then prepare yourself for something like that?
I mean, I feel like there's a certain frequency and vibration I have to go into when it's voiceover work because I do a lot of things remotely from home. So I have a
Mm.
studio here in the back, and I like when I know by the grace of God, I have time to study and really perfect my craft, and really create that character development I want per entity. If I have an audition or if I book a job, whatever job I'm going to, sometimes you just have to wing it. So because I've done this for so long, I know the frequency I have to be in when I go into each frequency. So like if I know, okay, I'm going into the voiceover booth to do LaCienega, I already know who LaCienega is. She's changed a little bit with the reboot because she went from tween to teen.
Mhm.
So she had a quinceañera now. She's a young lady. But I know exactly kind of like, okay, this is what I have to do. I got to really vocalize right now. I have to do my vocal exercises because I'm about to go into a higher register.
Mhm.
Because sometimes they have La Cienega sing, which I love. I get to have my Disney princess moment because it was really fun when I did like broken karaoke and theme song takeover. For me, I'm like, Disney wants me to sing, little me.
That's
So I got
awesome.
to have like some of my Disney moments. That was really like that really made my day. But even all the way down to an audition, when I'm not on set, I do a lot of workshops. I do some coaching here and there when I'm not too busy. I teach kids and adults, and I tell the people that I work with, like, you got to know what you're saying and why you're saying it. And I basically tell them it's all about like the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why.
Mm.
And if you can just find a real moment into what you're doing, whether you have an audition or even if you have the job, because even once you have the job, you still got to keep doing a good job.
Hmm.
So you can just keep the
Yeah.
job going. But it's really just connecting and finding a real story in real life to connect what you do. And if you haven't experienced it, then look at something or read something or hear about something so you can compare and contrast. That's the best way I can elaborate it,
Hmm.
if that makes any sense. And then my big thing is, as an actor, is subtext. Have a thought. Otherwise, you're just speaking lines.
So
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah,
when you're
100%.
doing the voiceover work, are you just looking at a script, or do they shoot the voice first, or the script? Do they you
After
just see
they draw us after.
Oh,
And
really?
animation can take up to
Okay.
2 years, which is crazy. I felt
Yeah.
like it used to take lesser, but now if you look compared to how it was till now you can understand why it takes longer.
Yeah.
But no, back then I would have scripts at a ambo, a little ambo thing that held my script. Now we have tablets.
Yeah.
Ah, so you're just looking at it and you're getting the vibe by just looking at a script, like,
Yeah, I get all my scripts before. Sometimes I record 8 episodes in one go. Sometimes I record one episode. It's depend on whatever they want me to do during that one day. So I get all my scripts before,
Hmm.
and they're not too long. You know what I mean? They're half an hour, but it's really like 22 minutes. You know what I mean? So I don't think I usually have to read more than like 50 pages.
Hmm.
But I
but
mean,
there's
imagine if you get
nobody.
10 scripts, 50 pages. It's a lot. I'm up
Oh
at night
yeah.
while my kid's sleeping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and nobody. You don't have the other actors talking
Never.
back to you, so you're
No.
you're reacting to
Hmm.
something that you're not even sure what that sounds like,
Yeah.
and you
But
have to
I
make
do
that
know what
sound
Sugar Mama sounds like. I do
Yeah,
know what Penny
yeah,
sounds like in my head. But
yeah.
if it's somebody new, no. And I already know how. So what I do is like I try to go, and that's another thing. Each line I have to try to have at least 2 or 3 different ways to say it.
Wow. It's
You don't
you're getting
have to, but you're
no.
usually asked that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Just so they
This
have
gives
options when
gives
they're
the
editing.
editor and the producers to look at, to say, oh, that was a better way, that
Yeah.
reacted differently than it sounded from the other person. That's
And yeah, and when I go in, I'm by myself, and it's usually like, everyone's like on a Zoom. I have an engineer on the other side, but now they're starting to come in. Now that the pandemic, even though it's been quite some time now, people want real human interaction.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
All my auditions, all my meetings, all my this, all my that is like remote. Sometimes you just want a human being. I mean, even now when let's say I have an audition to do at home, I don't even need my husband. I have an app. I say my lines, and then it records, the lines for me. It's really trippy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it's out of hand how much an actor even I mean, starting out too has to do some of those like self tapes. I mean, self
My
taping
joke
is
is I
so
might as well
much.
shoot the movie and commercial for you.
Right, because they're asking you to do so much in self
So
tape,
much.
and if to
Yes.
be a beginning actor in like say a studio apartment, and
Overwhelming.
you have like lighting and all this stuff, you're setting up a literal studio in your small like
I have a
apartment.
pop-up, a big pop-up. One
Yeah,
side's blue, one side's like gray.
yeah,
So when I'm in like the serious theatrical mode, I put the gray. When it's commercial, I put, the blue, and then I have a circle light. I
yeah.
don't make it. I mean, I tweaked a couple of different things,
Hmm.
keeping up with the Joneses for myself. Something as simple as like a tip I could give is because I'm all about sharing. I think it's about the law of
Oh yeah,
attraction. What you put out comes back. And my joke is like, you like it, steal it. You know what I mean? You like the way somebody did something, you learn from them, you try to
Yeah.
do your rendition of it. But like,
Yeah.
a lot of people record themselves in the middle. I started kind of playing around, recording myself a little bit more to the right or the left. That gives you more space. Then you can walk into the scene. So little je ne sais quoi like that make all the difference. Because sometimes you watch people's videos and you're like, how do they do this?
hmm.
Yeah.
You know? And then some people they don't really have much, but they still make it work. I mean, I think for me, it's like that old saying my mom used to say, doesn't matter how much something costs, it matters how you rock it,
Mm,
Absolutely.
you know?
there we go. Wow. So
Preach.
It's not the
pull
car, it's the
quote,
driver.
pull quote
Exactly.
right there. The Proud Family.
Yeah.
It's so I was watching a couple episodes from the newest ones last
Hmm.
night, and yeah, it was great actually. I was to me I love cartoons. Cartoons were a huge part of my life when I was a child,
Hmm.
and even now like I love a good cartoon. Like there's just something about it.
What good cartoons are you watching, Dan?
What?
Even though.
Right
What
now?
cartoon are you
I don't know.
watching?
I'll go
You're
back and
not letting
watch
us, you're
like
not telling us. You're
I don't
gatekeeping
know.
us.
Right now, like I might go back and watch Animaniacs. Like that to me,
That's a
like
good
that,
one.
or
That's a good one.
a deep cut. Like people never didn't really watch it, but like Freakazoid. I loved Freakazoid. That was
Okay.
like one of my
Okay. Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was something about this, like it was new and nostalgic at the same time for me. Like it felt like I was like I'm watching a cartoon that really understands what it means to be animated, but at the same time, it also is addressing so much more in
It's
this
so
really
relevant.
loving
Yeah.
way. Yeah. So
Hmm.
what is it? What do you connect to in that? Like, why do you think also others are connecting to it? Because it's growing and the audience
Hmm.
is there.
I feel like it's a very woke show, if you want to use that terminology, in regards to we talk about modern topics. We talk about LGBTQ community. We talk about the Latinx community. We talk about so many cultural things. It's like one of those co-viewing shows that's like 6 to 60, 8 to 80. And then on top of it, the diversity is endless. And that's what was very appealing about La Cienaga's role. I was very thankful that La Cienega didn't have to have a stereotypical accent. That was a
Mm,
whole other thing in the audition process. And I shared with them, listen, I'm from New York, I'm Dominican, but I've lived out here in Cali for a long time. So I have a bit of a valley flair. Can I make her very Latin American without an accent? And because she was raised here in America.
mhm.
And even though her parents have like a bit of a slight accent, I know many kids that don't have accents. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
though their parents maybe came from another country and definitely had different accents, like my father from Dominican Republic. But at the end of the day, I do feel like you are a product of your environment. And I felt like La Cienega was very Latin American, and they allowed me to add my own je ne sais quoi. And that's the reason why she talks like this. Very, and it's been a blast being a part of it from day one, but then to see it in the new light
Yeah.
and to work with Kiki Palmer and to work with Billy Porter and EJ Johnson and to continue working with Soleil Moon Frye, who I
I know.
love, and Kyla Pratt, who I adore. And just the list goes on and on. And I'm really close with Paula, who plays Trudy, and Tommy Davison and Cedric. Everybody has been amazing. But the people that I really just am so grateful for are the creators. Created Bruce Smith is the creator, and Ralph Farquhar is the producer, and Calvin Brown as well. They've been really loyal. We've been a tribe since day one. So when we got the call that it came back, like it just all made sense. We were like, finally, we were waiting. And then it was like we never left and we just picked up from where we returned. And since then, it's just been taken off. We've done some really fun things. We've done like D23 Comic-Con, Celebrity Family Feud, which was another bucket list of mine.
Oh wow,
Nice.
That
that's
must have
so
been
cool.
awesome. Oh,
Did you guys
Oh,
do
that's
well?
amazing.
Totally lost.
I was gonna
Totally
say,
lost.
did you well? Was it harder than you thought when you were like there?
Okay, so it was me, Soleil, Kiki, Paula, who played Trudy, and Kyla, and we were up against Salt and Pepper and Kid and Play.
Oh,
oh my
No.
God.
They
Kid and Play.
That's
kicked our
amazing.
butt. Yeah, Kid and Play. They kicked
Oh.
our
Does he
butt.
still have the flat top?
Like a little bit, I think. And then,
Do you
All right.
do you think they're gonna be
no,
coming up
maybe.
with a reboot of a Kid and Play movie?
Movie?
'Cause the legacy
that would
sequels
be,
are happening.
That would be amazing. I mean, Salt and Pepper just got, I think, abducted into the Hall of Fame or just got a star,
Mhm.
like finally I feel like people are getting their flowers
Yeah.
Yeah.
many, many years after the fact. But it was awesome. I was ready to go. My two answers were on the board.
Were they?
The
What
loss
was
is,
one?
the loss is
what was
not
the
on
topic? What were the two
I
topics?
don't even
that
want
you
to
got?
talk about what I was at.
you.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Can we see
I was
the episodes
mortified.
live?
I was mortified. You can go see it. Go check it out on YouTube, I'm sure.
Okay.
And Steve Harvey
We'll find
wore a beautiful hot pink suit.
Oh, geez.
I love Steve Harvey so much. He's so amazing in that show.
Yeah.
So
he
good.
he's great. He's one of those people in that show where he bridges the
Fourth wall where he talks to the audience and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
no.
yeah, and
Mhm.
he's almost like the translator between different cultures and different experiences in the
Yeah.
US. He's like, and that's what I love about that show when I watch him. Like, this is what the world should be like. This is what we need, a mediator like that to
Yeah.
be like, here's the translation.
Yes.
That's why I love that show. Oh, that's so much fun. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
was fun.
So you so we had like oh my God, I have so many questions that I'm trying to
That's okay.
imagine. Like well, I would love to talk about some of your favorite things, like some of the stuff that we asked as well, nostalgia wise, like because you have, such a great, experience in terms of your career, but you said something and I like about hats, right? And I'm thinking about
Yes.
we asked about some of your favorite TV shows in the 90s and some of your movies, and one of them on there was Blossom. And I'm thinking, like, did Blossom's obsession with hats, like, influence your obsession with hats?
I think so. I would say that's actually a really good option to create an analogy for it because I feel like I wore a lot of those. I have a picture of me wearing like a flip hat for sure in the front with the daisy.
Yes.
And I just thought it was bad hair day. That's what's going to fix it.
Yep.
And I did rock a lot of hats. I had the bucket hat. I had all kinds of hats and I had a lot of baseball hats for sure. So yes, ding, ding, ding. I would say that because, and Six, the character played by Jenna Van Oy, I don't want to say her last name wrong, but she was a big inspiration for one of my characters, hence why Kiki talks really fast off of Island Girls because of the character Six. Because she always talked really fast and everything she said was like this and blah, 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 you know?
You just unlocked a memory that I didn't realize I still had of Six. Like I was like trying to remember that show and like
She was cute.
now- yeah, I just
love
remember now like her entrance was always like
Well, do you remember the joke is the reason why her name Six is because that's how many beers it took for her or something like that.
That show is
Oh, my
so
God.
amazing to me when I watched it as a
Aw.
kid because I was like, it's both funny, but that show was way different than other shows. Like it had a lot of other
Well, it was like
issues
My
there.
So-Called Life too.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
like I signed the petition because it only
Mm.
was one season, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ahead of its time. It was
Oh,
ahead of
it
its
totally
time.
was.
It
Totally.
really
You know?
was. Yeah. Can you also were on a show that I watched as because my grandmother was obsessed with soap operas and daytime
Okay.
television.
Which one?
So I watched Days of Our Lives all the time. Then I ended up watching Passions, and I saw that you were on that. That was one of the wildest
Yes.
soap operas I had ever seen in my entire life. Like you had a
Yes.
little part, you had a part on that. And I'm wondering if you could like, what was it like to be in that? Because daytime television is way different than other scripted shows, than voiceover,
Yes,
than
soap is
sketch.
a whole other entity. I was on two soaps. I was a recurring on Bold and the Beautiful as Ginger.
That's right. That's right.
And then I came on Passions as Kelly. within a storyline with the characters Chad and Whitney. And I came in to kind of like spruce things up. And I had a scene where I was like ice skating with Chad and whatever. And then I get a call to come into production. And I remember they sat me down and they go, "We really love you. We created a character named Sydney Valentine for you. We know." And at the time, I had just freshly got a record deal with Hollywood Records. I was in a girls group called 3Gs. The group had a song on the Princess Diary soundtrack called A Second Chance. And so, at the time I was like really in shape and I was like in my prom ready to go. And they're like, "We created this character where you play a recording artist. We know that you sing. We'd love for you to record music and be a part of the storyline back with Chad and Whitney." Wait, ready? As a whole other character.
That's just the way soaps are. They do that.
Audience, forget
you can
this
have
is the
your
same
head
person.
cut off and still come back. Because I remember in my head, I'm going, "I'm Kelly now. Yes, I'm Sydney."
Yep.
And I remember getting the script and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be fun." And here's the best part. The girl that plays Whitney, I can't think of her name, is opposite of who I tested against for One World. How funny is that?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Just goes to show you how life is. And she's beautiful, you know what I mean? But God had a different path for her and vice versa. So it's just funny how it brought me back together. And I loved playing Sydney because I sing and I was able to dance and I got to go into the studio. They made me sing like pop alternative R&B. Like it was that many genres.
Wow.
The songs were either poppy, rock alternative, or like R&B.
Wow.
So they had you all over the place. Wow.
I was all dressed like J-Lo.
Billy, if you have no idea, this show was crazy. This show,
It's not
they
the one
like
that had vampires, did it?
Yeah, witches.
Yes,
goblins.
Dan,
Oh,
you used
wow.
to talk about this, and I was like, because my mom did not
I
watch
was
it. She
on
watched
it.
Days of Our Lives, and she watched there's a couple other ones she watched. General Hospital, and like
Yes.
Dan would come in and be like, talk about passions. I'm like, there's no show that has vampires in it. It's so
oh,
popular.
it was way ahead of its time. It was amazing.
Yeah.
That show was crazy.
Yeah.
We can't do this episode without you talking about some of the producer work you've done now with the Orange Years with Scott Barber and also the Reading Rainbow documentary Butterfly in the Sky, which Reading Rainbow, such an unbelievable
Every time
show.
you say that title, I can't stop but have that
This
song,
song goes in my head.
Yeah.
Greatest song ever.
As soon as you say it, I was like, Butterfly in the Sky.
Absolutely.
It's a good one. It's a good song.
It's such a good jingle.
Yeah. So, how is it to kind of get into that mode then? And like those two projects, like that's so important, I feel like, for people to see both the Orange Years and that Butterfly in the Sky. How is it, what do you bring to that? And also what did you feel like you needed to be part of that for?
Well, first off, Butterfly in the Sky, I was on Reading Rainbow as a child, and I was one of the kids that reviewed the books.
Amazing.
And that was like, honestly, I'll never forget that because like, I remember, you go into this and they're like, you got to go on the back. You got to read this book with your mom or dad, whoever you're with. And then you got to come and sit on set and sit on this little apple box and you got to talk about it. You know what I mean? And you
Same day?
It's like same moment.
Same moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You go in the back, you get a couple minutes, eat a snack and you come out and then you freshly talk about the book. And the main thing I knew was in order to really make sure that you got picked, because it wasn't guaranteed you were going to get picked, you got to have a little zhuzh. You got to have a gimmick. You got to have a little chutzpah. Like when I did my little, you should read this book. I mean, so, and the best part was I wasn't trying to be anything other than myself. And each kid that got picked, you could tell they just were so cute and they just had a little something in them. You know what I mean? And they showed all types of races and cultures and ethnicities and frequencies for kids that they picked for that spot. I was so honored to be picked because it's a free for all. One day I'm watching it going, oh my God, mommy, I got picked,
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to meet LeVar or anything like that.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, man.
No, it was just you go, there's a couple kids, everybody gets their own book, and then you come out and you get interviewed and you have to talk about the book. And that's it, basically.
Oh, man.
And a couple years ago, I get contacted by the whole tribe over at Butterfly in the Sky to be a part of the documentary. And at that time, I was pregnant with my daughter, Rosemary. And I was so emotional. And I remember they brought me a copy of the book. I have it. It's somewhere. I Want a Dog, right there. I Want a Dog. And basically, in a nutshell, I remember the hardest part to say was the author's name, which was Dial Carcalsa.
They did not give you an easy one.
Do you remember the review? Was it good?
Yeah, it was great. I read it to my kid, and she's like, I want to play with it. I was like, you cannot play with this book.
She didn't say, I want a dog?
Oh, she wants a dog like yesterday. She wants a dog like yesterday. But Mama needs a break. And Mama doesn't want her shoes eaten. Right
also,
now.
she's still like, it would be your dog, not her dog.
Yeah.
You'd be taking care of it.
Don't do it yet.
Yeah, wait until she can
like
walk the dog
and it's safe. Luckily, I live in a gated community, thank God. But yes,
yeah.
So being a part of that frequency was amazing. And then finally, when I went to the premiere for it, I got a chance to meet LeVar in person.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then the rest was history. And him and I just, it was like as if we always knew each other and we just got along so well. And everybody there just had a blast. And the rapport of it's been going great. The fans seem to love it. I think it's really taking people back to a nostalgic time, and it kind of gets people a little emotional. And then being a part of the Orange Years was it just made sense. I got contacted by Scott Barber and the rest of the crew over there. And basically, I came in as someone that was just going to get interviewed. But, I do a lot of producing and creating and writing. And I remember, sharing with the team, like, there's a lot of people that I would love to align for this project. I think these people would be so, just leave such an impactful imprint, And so I was able to align a lot of the cast members from my show, and, the rest was history. I came on board as a producer, and it was available on Hulu. Now you can buy it, rent it. It's still streaming. Butterfly in the Sky is on Netflix. And yeah, all of these things are just really positive, impactful things, because TV's not like the way it used to be. And the Orange Years was about Nickelodeon done in its chronological order and its positive impact on children's programming. And it just made sense for me to produce that project. It felt good to be a part of something that really was high vibrational, that I knew would allow people to have a nice memory lane moment. And then the fact that it was in the chronological order, I think, was the sweet spot.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I think everyone our age can relate to like Nickelodeon from our childhood, remembers like how big it was, right? So I haven't watched that, but I would really want to check
Bill,
that
you
out.
would love
Bill,
it.
you gotta watch it.
We watched it for the interview. Like, I was blown away by it, and I just like,
I gotta check that out. That
like,
sounds
man,
amazing.
we grew up in like, it was such a good time to be. I'm just calling myself a Zennial because I'm like, I'm 81, so it was just such a good time in television. To be alive for that, just like the amount of gold that was coming out of like you name any show back then, and you're like, yep, awesome. There's like 100%. It was hardly a strikeout anytime they came out.
Times are so different. I was making a joke the other day because every now and then Mama's got to live and have some inner child fun, and I hung out with another friend of mine who's a working actress. I was excited because we went out into Hollywood, and we're like, we're going to go have a little drink, a little appetizer, listen to some music. And we're in a really hot spot. We're like in the early 2000s. I used to go dancing and clubbing and having fun, right? And it is like a whole other dimension now. And I was like scared.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, my daughter will never. No, but the thing is that times are so different. And I said to my husband, oh my God, was like the early 2000s, like the last hurrah.
Yes.
Of like, yeah.
We peaked.
So what is this now?
Well, I was going to say
that's why we have this podcast, because we like
that's
to talk
why we
about
have it, because
because we like to talk about back then. Also,
we don't want to be in the present.
although I did see something today that like Gen Zs are now buying iPods because they don't want to be connected to the internet, and they think their iPhones are just like so loud, and like it's just like they're constantly being distracted by the algorithm.
I am so tired of it all. Like, you catch yourself doom scrolling and you don't mean to, but it's just entertainment, and it's like, oh my God, it's been 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And as
and even we fall for it, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And from a parent perspective, it's so like we have so much more to navigate than our parents did, right? Like if you think about the internet stuff and like
They
once
didn't
again,
have to
like
deal with any of that.
no,
No.
Yeah.
like throw on Nickelodeon
Well,
and
they
watch
told
this
you
for
to
a couple
leave.
hours, you know.
They told you to
My
leave and come back
7-year-old's
when
on
this.
YouTube. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, when I don't have
craziness.
kids, but when my nieces and nephew, like, I'm like, where did you learn that? He's like, YouTube. I'm like, what else do you watch on YouTube? And how is anybody
Probably don't want to
regulating
know.
like what you're watching? Yeah, because at least when we only had one television in the house, like
Yeah.
you were regulating that. Like it was like, like wake up in
Yeah,
the morning
even
and
with
watch cartoons.
my kid, I let her have screen time, but it's in increments.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of it I try for the apps to be learning curved, but at the same time, I'm going to allow her to have some fun, but it's a kid protected parent vibration
Yep.
to where
Yeah.
if I hear one thing, I'm like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I
But
try
going
to be
back,
as present
Hard.
as possible. Yeah,
but
sorry to
going
give you
back
No,
to
makes
like the
sense.
clubbing time too, we didn't have phones, so right. So like when you were
Thank
out,
God.
yeah,
my God.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like when
Yeah.
you were out, you weren't afraid. They even say like people aren't even vibing anymore because they know that somebody could be recording them,
Well,
right?
wait, listen
So
to
like,
this perfect segue. So, like, I'm with my girlfriend and we're just like, listening. I swear, I think I was in a prom in the 80s. I don't know why people were dressed like that. Clearly, it was a themed situation.
you're
And
making
this was
fun
like
of our generation.
no,
No, I'm
no. I
just
think
kidding.
I really think it was a prom. I think it was definitely not my generation at this bar.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it kind of reminded me where I went was like it reminded me of 6th Street in Austin, Texas, if you've ever been there, where the
Yeah.
different bars have different themes. But one guy, clearly inebriated, comes up to me and my friend and has the audacity. Luckily, nobody is going to mess with me, but tries to start recording my girlfriend just with his camera. And he had the light on. Well, this mama had to go get the bouncer to remove him from my auric field.
Yeah.
But it's and because I'm not the one. I looked at him. I was like, and I just pushed him to the side. I laughed. I was like, you're hilarious. What are you doing?
That's so cute.
That's so. You need to go drink some water and have a slice of pizza.
Yeah. I mean, that's
But
a lot
people
of
have a lot of goal, a lot of
Yeah.
audacity. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the because I teach first year students at USC, and like I try to get them to understand this idea that like, you go out, you can dance, you can have fun, you could do this, but they're all really scared to kind of do that because they're all afraid to be recorded and then turned into a meme, or
Yeah.
they don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
this everything's cringe to them, right?
They don't have a confidence. There is a socialness that's a little different now, for sure.
hmm
Which is
And
interesting
like you
because
said, Dan,
the
the
shows that you
cringe.
did, yeah. Right. And I've been looking at the stuff that you've done and then all the way into the Proud Family. I'm like, there is an evolution of that. But what's interesting is that like from the early parts, like All That and One World and stuff, there was
Mm-hmm.
the expressiveness of those characters and everyone in
Mm-hmm.
that cast is like able to do that and to have fun. And then
Mm-hmm.
what's interesting is we get into Proud Family and I watched the second episode of the new season and I'm like, it's all about that social media part where it's just like
Mm-hmm.
really interesting to
We
see.
got that hologram. It's called hologram.
Right. It's and I was like, wow, now it's just like you can't like whatever happens, anyone has like this control over how
Mm-hmm.
you're seen or how you're represented. And that was really interesting to watch that kind of happen.
That's why you have to think twice before you post. Think before you post. Like I do not just. You might see me quiet for a couple of days. It's okay. I don't need to post you what I just ate, or
Yeah,
I don't need to
exactly.
post a quote just because I'm giving you something. I want to give it to the world because I want to give it, or I have
Yeah.
something to promote. I also think I think twice about when I've shared my daughter, but I don't post her all the time. Everybody don't need to know everything.
Yep.
I also think, curiosity is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather people be hungry for something than me oversaturate things a little bit,
I was thinking about how, yeah, like as actors, you're not saving any content for anybody if you're posting all the time and then everybody just knows everything about you. So then there's no mysterious of like, why should I go watch your show? I see you every day on
Yeah.
social media. So it is a
Yeah.
good
It's
thing that you limit it because especially for your brand, it's got to be like,
I
yeah,
mean, I'm sure I could give more at times, but
sure.
it's time consuming.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
also
yeah.
like, I want to make sure like it's the best version of whatever it is that I want to give. And I don't
Yeah.
want to half it, because I do feel like like I understand why people get paid for social media. I respect that. That is a job in itself. Because there's a lot like, because I'm verified and I can monetize in certain ways and stuff, there's a lot of stuff that I'm still learning, that everybody's still learning. And there's always something that you're like, oh, I didn't catch that. Like, where did that come from? Or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
And by the time you do, sometimes it's already done. It's like moved on. It's to the next algorithm.
Darn, I just missed that trend.
Exactly.
I just figured it out.
Yeah,
I figured out the weird dance, and now I can't do it. Yeah.
You're like, they want font. No, they don't want that font anymore.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So can we do like we have a couple questions, maybe just pure nostalgia questions, like fun questions, and then okay, so I wrote this question down. I'm like, and actually I've been doing this with some of my students as writing prompts, as teaching. If you could live in a cartoon universe from your childhood, what would that cartoon universe be?
Aside from Proud Family, duh. Right? Because I need to become my own cartoon, right? Let's see. I was thinking about this. I don't know if this falls under cartoon. This is more puppets, but like Fraggle Rock.
Oh
yes,
love Fraggle Rock.
I want to go hang out with the Dozers.
Down at Fraggle Rock.
Yep.
Yeah, the Dozers. Yeah. But I also like, and Sesame Street, like you just would be so happy. But I feel like Rugrats would be fun to go visit a little bit. We want to go hang out with the Simpsons for sure, because like they look like they would get into a lot of chaos, right? The Jetsons looks really fun.
Oh, that does look fun.
I don't really know if I'd want to go back to Bedrock, though I love the Flintstones.
Yeah, I don't think I look at the Flintstones. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't need to. Yeah, it looks more like a lot of work.
Yeah, it does look like a lot. Magic School Bus. Heck yeah.
Yes.
Right?
That was a good one.
And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm going a little blank. I mean, honestly, I was part of this ABC posse back in the 90s where they had Saturday morning cartoons where like these kids would promote it. So like I loved New Kids on the Block, so probably I'd want to go hang out in the New Kids on the Block.
That cartoon.
They did have a show. That's right.
That cartoon was awesome.
Oh my god!
And I had to do a commercial where I was like, "New Kids on the Block, it's great. You got to watch it. Only on ABC."
Wow, I totally forgot they had a show.
Yes, so did
I still remember one of the episodes they were trying to sneak him back in.
Oh, yes. Beetlejuice was one of my favorites.
Oh, Beetlejuice.
MC Hammer, all these different.
That show.
We watched the MC Hammer. We were doing nostalgic like
theme songs.
Intros. Theme songs, and like we watched that, I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot about this show."
Yeah,
it's crazy,
right? It's endless. So yeah, I think that like that frequency is what I'd go visit.
Is there like
I'd like to visit Doug?
Oh, Doug! Oh my god!
I was thinking of Doug.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
We'll be friends with Skeeter.
Yeah. Is there a fashion that you would want to bring back? A lot of it's coming back, or is there one that's like, why is this back?
I mean, I love bell bottoms, right? But I wear high-waisted jeans. And I was gonna say like Doc Martens, but those are kind of back now.
Yes.
I've been having a hard time finding.
Back.
Yes, I have. 90s is very back. I've been having a hard time finding my favorite Adidas, which is the green suede ones with the white.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
I wore weird colors. Like my Converse were purple. My Doc Martens were green.
That's
like,
great.
I was
some flair going on.
I was differente.
Did you like remember that necklace the girls used to wear? Like it was like
I have those necklace? Still.
Yeah.
And I had little daisy chokers, but I feel like I'm not throwing anything away.
No, you shouldn't.
Never know.
No, it's all coming back. You never know.
Nothing.
Jankos are back, which is
I saw that. Yeah, super wide leg jeans.
So last year I did. What was it for? It was with Disney. They had like another Disney Channel night. Proud Family was a part of that lineup, but it was like they had a pop up with like Cheetah Girls and Hannah Montana and all that. So I wore this shirt. It's my Ed Hardy shirt, but I wore my like those big jeans. They were so heavy.
Oh yeah.
But I have pockets for days.
Oh yeah.
The only thing about that is you're in LA or you're in California, so like there's no rain. But remember when they used to get wet? Like
it would be up to
terrible.
the knees.
Way so much.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I felt like, I don't know if you remember, but I played Bag and Sag and Mary, so that was Bag and Sag and Mary for sure.
Love it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Wow. Well, I mean,
Any other
Elisa,
questions, Dan?
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
mean,
ask away.
um, some of your so TGIF was huge at this point. Like, if you had to think, like, what was your top tier TGIF show? Like, which one was could not miss, and then yeah, which one you feel like was like the not miss TGIF show for you?
Well, of course, we love Family Matters.
I mean
But I like Step by Step, Day by Day.
Good shit.
that one I feel
With
like was a real
Susan
sleeper.
Summers.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm a
feel
girl. I liked that. The boys were cute. The girls were cute.
That was a
It
good
definitely
one.
had more drama. Like I felt like that one had more like love interest all the time. Like that was like the biggest thing about that was like somebody was dating somebody. There's a girl
What were
with
the
a
other
boyfriend,
shows
with a
again?
girl.
it was like Perfect Strangers, Full House,
Perfect Strangers was a part of the TGIF.
Yeah.
really early
Yeah,
on.
I love
Early.
Balky Bartakamis.
Oh,
No,
yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just started following him on social media.
He's
And
amazing.
I made my husband Perfect Strangers, and he's like, "Wow, what is this?" I was like, "I know."
Show's
And I
great.
remember I used to watch that, and then the show called Dear John.
You watched that?
Yes,
I thought I was the only one that watched that because
No, I watched it.
I was one of those
Because
kids that
wasn't it
watched
like
weird
about
shows.
like his wife left or something like that? I
Yeah.
wrote him a Dear John letter, and then he
Yeah.
goes to therapy and meets all his quirky little. It was great. It
had
kind of reminded me of
group-
like a Seinfeld feel kind of a thing. Yeah. Hmm.
That was such an
It's in,
odd show. I used to watch all these weird comedies, like all these weird shows, and I was like that kid that was like, "You're not watching Dear John?" It's like this show's
Yeah,
great.
I loved you. Started watching that. That is hilarious. See, we are of the same tribe.
Absolutely.
Dan wasn't Dinosaurs on TGIF at some point
It
too? You know
was.
that show?
Dinosaurs was the best.
Not the
I'm the
mama.
baby,
Best
gotta
ending
love
ever.
me. I'm the
Oh,
baby,
yeah.
gotta love me.
That was-
Yeah.
That
was
had
a
one of
great
the
show.
saddest finales
Saddest
of
finale.
all time.
Yeah,
Saddest
but then they
finale.
go
It was
through
the realest
remember what
finale.
happened.
extinction, right?
They were
I think it was
basically waiting
extinction.
for the extinction. Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
like the meteor's coming.
There was
We're
an
about
ice
to
age.
like the ice age was coming,
Ay, ay,
and they were
ay.
just like they
Yeah.
totally like just like fell
went-
into
they-
that part.
yeah.
It was so sad. I remember being like,
Yeah.
they're like, why are millennials so sad? It's like this is our childhood. They're like, name a traumatic thing from your childhood, like different movies or TV shows, and one of the things mentioned is dinosaurs, and of course, like never ending story with the horse.
Oh God.
Wait, so
Real
my
quick.
kid, I watched it and I was watching it with her and I was like, okay, we're gonna pass this scene. And she's like, why, mom? And so I told and I go, because there's like this horse and this thing, and she's like, I want to watch it. I'm strong. I'm watching this thing with her, and I'm freaking out because she's 4 turning 5 this year, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna traumatize my kid.
Yeah,
And she was like, see, mom, I did it. The horse is gonna come right back up. I was like, 100%.
yeah.
100%. The horse is coming right back up. And I'm in the corner like crying.
Oh my God. It's like repressed memories from watching it as a child.
Oh yeah.
God,
Oh,
but
my
these
God.
kids nowadays, they're strong like bull.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
They
They
definitely
just
are.
watch it. I heard the Bluey recently had an
Oh, I love
episode
Mhm.
That
of
show's
like
great.
they're supposed to leave and they were doing it for sale.
Oh,
And like
try to
Oh,
sell
people-
the house.
that's a previous
Yeah.
season. Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
that's
well,
one of the
so
greatest
they're showing
episodes.
like all the videos of the
Amazing.
kids who are
Yes,
like
yes.
so happy that like Bluey didn't leave and stuff like that. I was
Yes.
like, oh wow,
Oh, yeah.
that's tearful. But I was like, damn.
That episode, and then the scoring, and that episode, and then there's another episode of Bluey where Bingo is sleeping and her blanket's off of her, so she has this dream that's just like just amazing.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, and there
Yeah.
and the end story of the dream is like her love for her mother, and then there's this big iconic moment with the scoring, and I'm just sitting there like, you see, you love me like that, right? My daughter's like, Mom, you're gonna cry again. I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that show's so good. It's definitely my favorite show that my kids watch. Like if it's on, I'm like, oh my God, I just got sucked into 3 episodes of Bluey. Like what's going on?
Yeah, and I also like City Greens. I love City
Yes,
Greens. It's
that's
one
a
of
good
my
one, too.
favorites. Yeah, really, really, really fun. I mean, the list goes on. And then I want to give PBS some love. Like I love me some Alma's Way. that is one of the best theme songs. It's like this Puerto Rican percussion theme song that whenever it comes on, I start dancing like, my salsa, my merengue, and
I
that
love
was
it.
created by the lady Maria. I'm bad with last names, from Sesame Street. She's the
Oh,
creator of it. So yeah, I mean, it's all good stuff. I mean,
oh,
children's programming is really where it's at. That's why I love being a part of that imprint. That's why a lot of the stuff that I do is for family and kids,
yeah.
because it is all about uplifting humanity during Mother
Yep.
Earth's ascension right now. And we just got to ride this wave gracefully. And we all got to just stay connected and keep uplifting the vibration of humanity. And that's why we all do what we do, right?
Amazing.
100%.
I think that's a good
Very well
place to
said.
be like, that is.
Yeah. So
that,
what else
yes,
you have going on
amazing.
to end with, like, anything you want to mention,
Tell
plug?
everyone how they can find you, how they
Yeah.
can follow you and everything.
Well, you can hit me up at alisareyes.com or follow me on social media, find my link tree and click down and see all the magic that's happening. Right now, there's all new episodes, season 3 of The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, currently streaming on Disney Plus. And then we will be releasing season 4 very soon. We don't have a date yet, but stay posted. If you want to see more on me, check me out on Butterfly in the Sky on Netflix, or check out my movie that I produced called The Orange Years, all about its positive impact on Nickelodeon. And you can also just stay back and wait for all my new music I'm about to record this summer that'll be launched hopefully not this year, later on next year. I can't wait for you to hear all of my new music that I'm recording with my new music team. It's going to be really fun. And I love you guys. Sending
Thank
mucho
you.
besitos, and this was a very special day today. And I hope to come back and play again.
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
No,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. We are so grateful that you were on. I mean, this was so great. And everyone, please like, subscribe, share this episode with everyone. You can follow the Nostalgia Test podcast at the nostalgiatest.com, but you can also hit our link tree, follow us all on all our social media and Instagram, check out the clips from this episode and later episodes, and also find us on Substack, because just the piece I did on the song Dreams by the Cranberries is actually doing really well. People really liking the essay I wrote, and like listening
Dan's
to
reflections.
Dan's like nostalgic
Dan's
reflection on that
reflections.
song. And we'll be doing more of those coming up, and you can watch the full video of this episode absolutely on Substack. And when I get to getting it on YouTube, as I'm slowly getting those things up there too, but definitely it's going to be on Substack immediately. But everyone, thank you so much. We really appreciate you watching and listening, and we'll see you on the next test.
Bye. That was so much fun, guys.
Share this episode with your friends. Subscribe and follow the Nostalgia Test podcast on YouTube, Substack, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Send us your episode ideas and comments, or book us for podcasts and events at thenostalgiatest@gmail.com. Come hang out with us next week, because you never know what pop culture will pop up on the Nostalgia Test.